Hello everyone, welcome back to Kredict. This is Learn Blockchain Development Challenge in 45 days. And today is day 16 of this challenge. In previous videos, we have learned about a lot of features in Solidity language. And in just previous video, we have learned about payable functions and payable addresses. And in today's video, we are going to learn about a data structure in Solidity that is mapping. Mapping is a data structure that is used to store key value pairs. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. For this, just quickly open up your browser. As you guys already know, we are going to use Chrome browser for this whole season, and we have a folder here says blockchain tut, in which we have all the smart contracts we have built in our previous videos. So I'm going to create here a new file which I'm going to name mapping.so. So this is my file. Just quickly write the boilerplate for it. Okay, so now our basic license and version is done for this contract. Now I'm gonna create the contract here. So here we have our contract says mapping. You can name it whatever, but I just like to name it same as the name of file, which is mapping. And why mapping? Because we are going to learn mapping in this video. So if you are coming from another programming language, for example, in C and Java, there are hash maps, and in Python, this is thing called dictionary. So mapping is somewhere similar to these data structures, which stores key value pairs. For example, this is the data structure. Just comment this out, okay? Okay, so okay, this is a data structure and it has a key, for example, name, and every key has a value. Just these silly comments, and age, it's gonna, for example, 56. This is how we represent key value pairs, but in Solidity they all have to be of same data type, so we cannot store it as a string, so we have to store it as, we cannot store it as an integer, so we should have to store it as a string. So this is how a mapping looks like in general, but there is nothing related to the syntax in Solidity. I'm just want to explain you the concept of key value pairs. So how you can define and use mapping in Solidity, let's just see. For declaring a mapping, we have to write mapping, then open braces. Now first we have to write the data type that we want to use as keys, and generally in Solidity we use keys by addresses because we deals with smart contract, variable functions, and all these stuff. And for example, we are creating a pre-sale contract and we want to store all the purchase done by different addresses, so we will write as address. So this is the key, and make a arrow by using equal to and this arrow sign near the, it's a shift, and then you have to write the data type that is stored as value. So we are going to write here uint, because in this example we are just going to store the amount of currency or token each address has, and we want to make it as public to get a getter. I'm going to write here public, and now we have to name it. So I'm going to name it as user balances. So this is how you declare a mapping in Solidity. This can be of any data type, and this also can be of any data type, but this is the most general use case of mapping. So how you can initialize value to this? Let's create a constructor for this. Just I don't want any params. Okay, to create value, I just write balances these square braces, and as you know, the user balance take address as key. So I'm gonna copy address from here, just paste it here, equal to, and the amount you want to assign. So I'm gonna assign 50,000 and put the semicolon. So with this, we have pushed our first element or created our first key value pair for the mapping user balances. So when you pass this address to this mapping, this will definitely return this value. So how you can test this? Just deploy this contract, and we have copied the contract, so just copy this address one more time, paste it here, and click on user balance, and you can see it has returned us this amount. We have set it as a constructor. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you pass an address that does not have any value in this mapping, it does not return any error. It will return the default value for uint, and the default value for uint is 0. So just quickly copy this address, replace this with this, and use balances. So you can see it returns 0, which is the default value of uint. So always keep this in mind, that all the address exists some values which is 0, and the addresses you assign value has the potential value you have assigned to it, or it get assigned by any certain logic or algorithm. So this is the thing you have to keep in your mind. Just close this for now, and we can also create a, you can say, function to pass values in this. I'm going to write function pass value. I'm gonna ask for address, which is user, and I'm gonna ask for uint, which will be balance, and this is a public function, and this will change the state of blockchain, so it neither be pure or neither be the, you can say, view, and this will return nothing. So I'm going to just open the braces, and I've typed a comma here, just remove this. Okay, so just what we can do, we can do user balances, square braces open, pass the user here, and equal to the balance we want to set. So this is how we can use function and pass dynamic values in the mapping. And always keep this in mind, all the keys should have to be unique in mapping. For example, we have same pass address here, and also pass a different value like 6000 or something else, so the value will be overwritten, and the actual value will become the 6000 of the value we have passed here. What I'm saying, I'm gonna show you within seconds. So just deploy this, open this up, and now you can see we have function says pass value, which is orange button, which is a state changing function for Solidity. Okay, so just to copy any of the address from here and paste it here and put a balance. I'm gonna write some random values. Okay, so just click on transact, and our function has been executed successfully. So now if we paste address here and check, you can see we have this balance we have passed here. So for any case, I want to pass the same address again, and now I'm going to pass something different value. I click on transact and use a balance, so the balance will be updated. This means every key is unique, because instead of creating a duplicate value, it has been overwritten with the new value. So this is the most basic thing in mapping, and you can use this for multiple things. Okay, and this value may contain all the types of data types supported in Solidity, for example, you can pass here boolean, unsigned int, integer, string, or even you can pass any array here. For example, we want to create a smart contract that keeps the track of three things per user, and you don't want to store it like in different thing, so you can use arrays. So here let me show you how you can use array as the value. For example, we can pass just the uint array here, and I can see it shows the error here and here. For now, just remove this constructor. We are using the just the, you can say, function. So we can pass here now the balance comma balance. Okay, so what is the issue here? I think, okay, so now we are passing balance as a array of 2 length. So now if we are going to deploy this, let's remove the old one, click on deploy, open this up, and now you can see when we pass value it, okay, so we are passing just a single value, but we'll storing it as an array. But we can also see the example where we pass array and store it directly. For now, just pass the address. I may have any address copied, yes I have, and just pass a random number and click on transact. So function executed. Just now you can see, now we have these two parameters. First is going to be key, and as it has arrays, we can also have to pass the index. So I'm going to pass here 0 call. So the 0 value is this, and as you may guessed, the value on 1 is also same because we are passing the same value, so it's exactly same. So just see how you can pass different values of for array. So I'm gonna take here as, you can say, array input, and we have to write memory. Okay, so now instead of passing these as array, we can pass balance directly because now we are taking input it as array. So just remove this and redeploy the smart contract, open this up. Okay, so now you can see we have to pass an array. Just paste the address, and there is no size limit, so we can pass multiple values. I'm going to pass here 2 comma 5 comma 6. I think I have typed 2 commas here, so just remove one. Okay, so just click on transact and function executed successfully. Scroll down, paste the address you want to retrieve, an index, for example 0. We have this 2 which is correct, and for 1 we have 5, and for 2 we have 6. And but if you pass here like for example 5, you will get nothing but just an error. Okay, so the index should also match this length. Okay, but you can see now it's a little bit tricky to get all the values for a user because we have to pass the indexes. So now I'm going to show you how you can create a function that return the array for particular user we are asking for. We can say get values. I'm going to just pass your address, or you can say user, which is a public function, obviously view, and it returns array of uint, and just write memory. So what we are going to do is return the user balance of user. Okay, so we have now a function which returns the array of that particular user. So just delete this, redeploy the contract, scroll down. Okay, so now you can see we have these three functions. This user balances is coming from this, you can say, mapping itself, but this is our custom function which takes only one argument and will return the values. So just pass the address and pass here, you can say 5 comma 8 comma 1 comma 4 comma and 5 something, and click on transact. Now to test this function we have to pass the address and just the address, and we'll click on call you can see it has returned all the values that has stored to this key of address, which is these values exactly same you can see here. So this is how you can create a function that returns the array values from mapping. And as you can see, now we have our custom function, so we can remove this public keyword from here and just quickly test the final implementation. Just click on deploy. Okay, so now we only have two functions: pass values, just space the address or the key you want to save, 5 comma 9 comma 10 or 0 something, 3 comma 9 something. Just click on transact, paste the same address here. You want to retrieve the values, click on get values, and you can see we have all these values. So this is how you can use a mapping, and I've showed you the different aspects of using a mapping. And you can obviously use here uint for also making key, and instead of this you can just pass uint or the user id, you can say just same here, user, you can say id, user id, and also here user id. So yes, you can also use uint for creating the keys. Just quickly see this example also. Remove this, click on deploy. So scroll down. Now you can see we have to pass here the id, so I'm going to just start with 1 and pass these values 5 comma 8 comma 10. Just click on transact, open this function up, pass the id which is 1, click on call, and you can see we have the value. So I hope you may now have idea how you can use different data types on both of these sides. Always remember, this is key which always should be unique, and this can be duplicated or replicated. There is no problem at all. Okay, so just close this. So now we have a very basic and useful example of mapping in the Solidity. I hope you have now a basic and fundamental understanding of mapping. I think this is one of the most important data type used in Solidity, because there is no way to store the associative value, so we use mapping. And we can also combine all those data types we have learned in previous videos, like struct, or you can say enum. So don't worry, we are also going to see all these combinations, that how to use structures with mapping, how to use structures in array, and all of these stuff. So just stay tuned and follow this series. So this is all from me for today. You are watching Kredict, and we are in 45-day Learn Blockchain Development Challenge. I ask you to practice all these topics we have covered so far and get a better understanding and have complete package, and don't get confused when we move on with advanced topics. So it's always recommended to watch all these videos and practice as much as you can. So this is all from me. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, stay safe.